Yeah, we made it. We made it. Happy New Year and welcome to the very first video of 2025 from me. I am the boy Postman and you are tuned in to Post in the Diary Room. And as you may know, every day is a good day to get a delivery from the Postman. And of course, if this is your very first time tuning in, please kindly like, share, subscribe, comment, do whatever is necessary to engage with the content, and most importantly, enjoy the video. Because today is a different one, because I think today I'm going to be answering one of the questions that have been, you know, on my mind, but also this is probably the most asked question in as far as Posting the Diary Room is concerned, because ever since I formulated or came up with this platform, the key question has always been for me, how do you rate these projects that you are constantly rating? Yeah, it's always me saying this project gets a 3 out of 10, this project gets a 5 out of 10. How do I get to that point, and what metric do I use? The key question is there a criteria? For sure. There is a criteria. For example, one of the key elements for me in as far as the criteria is concerned is that production, number one, is very, very important. How the project sounds is very key. And you can't really listen to a bad project, because that's going to dampen or even temper with your whole listening experience. So the sounding of the project is very, very important, and the kind of sound that the artist is going for, did they really live up to the hype of that particular sound, and did they basically match the type of beats that they went for? Are the beats good? Are they bad? And then the second point for me would have to be replay value. Replay value for me is out of the question. It's not even a question. That for me is one of the things that I actually look forward to within a project. Does this project have replay value? Can I bump it whenever, wherever? How many times can I bump it? Am I getting tired of this project? And then the third element would have to be flow and delivery. Flow and delivery is a very, very key component for me, because like, well, how are you delivering the message that are you sad? Are you how are you moving me? Am I moving my head? Am I, you understand? So flow and delivery is very, very important, because a really bad delivery can make a song really, really bad. But flow is really debatable, because flow differs from person to person. But leading flow is very important to me, because not everyone has the best flow, and not everyone has a better flow than Nasty C. The lyricism and wordplay. I mean, wordplay, lyricism is a very broad concept, because I don't think it's very restricted. It should be restricted to maybe the likes of Stogie T, the A-Reese's of this world. I think everyone who can just put pen to paper can actually become a lyricist. It's just how you get better. And in this particular context, as far as lyricism or wordplay is concerned, I'm just basically looking at how this person is knitting whatever idea that they're trying to paint, or is that idea even coming across the right way? Are they saying things that are making sense? That type of thing. So lyricism is very, very important for me. And then the last point would have to be originality as well as creativity. Is this the same exact project that you gave us 5 years ago, or is this the same project you gave us, in recent times? So like, what's different? Is it creative? Like, uniqueness? Is this something that someone else has done? What are you bringing? What are you changing in as far as the game is concerned? And then now, obviously, I just want to touch base on the most controversial part of Post in the Diary Room, which is the number, the rating tier. So, for example, if I gave the latest Matera Dope Boy project maybe a 1 out of 10, that would mean that project is horrible. It's horrible in the sense of I can't listen to that project. I just feel like it's awful. There's a lot of mistakes, and the production is very weak. Matera's rapping there is whack. It's off. Basically, essentially, anything between 1 and 2 out of 10, in my opinion, is very terrible. It's horrible. It's an awful listen. I wouldn't listen to that project again. Pretty much, it's very forgettable. It shouldn't have dropped. Anything from between 3 and 4 out of 10, that is below average. Below average in the sense that, at school, the average is always 50%, or the pass mark basically is always 50%. So below average in this case basically means that there's a lot of potential in the project, but there's just a lot of flaws about the project. The project is just, yeah. In some instances, like I can hear what you're saying, but dog, the project is just bad. For example, an album that I felt as though was below average was the latest DIY 3 by MT. And then now, we're now getting closer and closer to it. So now we're getting closer to 10. But now 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10 for me is basically mid. Mid, unexplainable. Like it's good, but it's bad at the same time. An example of a mid project for me was the new Smamane project, which was 21 days before mod. That for me was just, yeah, lackluster. It was just bad. It was just mid. And I think obviously the safest area for an artist to be in would be the one where we're now giving you maybe, for example, a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 in my opinion is a decent rating. So that's a decent album. That project is very much decent in the sense you would say that project is safe. Is safe because I just feel as though that was a solid effort. Uzamile, great exhibition, but nah, you still can improve. That's what 6 out of 10 actually means. Between 6 and 7, yeah, big dog, you can still improve. I mean, 7 is just above average. 7, I dog, you in the green. You in the green light, you in the green zone. You're hot, but you're not that hot, but you're hot. I get the idea. It's just that certain areas, in as far as the project is concerned, for me, are very much awful. It's like 6 out of 10. It's just that maybe you had a thorough idea, an idea that I could maybe click with, or there's maybe a lot of joints that I actually fuck with. So maybe there in that case is like maybe 60-40 balance of maybe like joints that I like versus the joints that I don't like. So that's how maybe you then get, and then you then have to consider maybe the elements like the cover of the project, how it was put out, what is that whole idea of the project. So like if you're gonna name the project maybe Postman, like how does the idea of a postman come about within the span of the listen? So those are some of the key areas that I would then come to, especially when I rate a project, maybe for example a 7 out of 10. And then an 8 out of 10, no brainer. That is good. 80%, that's a distinction in hip hop terms and in academic terms. So that's a distinction. That is a great exhibition. That's a great album. For example, an 8 out of 10 for me must have been the new Latinova Pounds project, Pray for Pitori. That for me was an exceptional project. I loved everything about that project. A lot of replay value. It's just that maybe there were certain areas that I just didn't really like, in as far as maybe the R&B cuts or some of the bars that he had. But I think an 8 out of 10 for that specific project was good enough, more than good enough, especially for a debut, because I still hold the sentiment that that project was probably, or was actually, the best project of 2024, especially debut-wise. When you compare the likes of Tony Daimane, Usmamane, and the other guys who came through with debut albums. So Lwati Nova Pounds was a standout act for me in that specific regard. Now, 9 out of 10. In terms of the criteria, you are clocking production, you are clocking originality, you are clocking all those other things. And there's probably maybe that one joint that I just didn't like. And it's like, or like I just don't know how. You know, sometimes guys are going to have a project and then they just lose you somewhere. So like maybe you lost me somewhere and then you just brought it back. You know, maybe you had a failure, one failure. And then I was like, oh, okay, 9 out of 10. And then a 10 out of 10 obviously is like, that's a once in a lifetime type project. It's not every day where a guy is going to come through with a 10 out of 10 type project. So a 10 out of 10 obviously is a no-brainer. Distinction, 100%. No flaws. Like, the room for error there is little to none. Like, agna mistake. An example of a 10 out of 10, in my opinion, to this day, would have to be KO's Kanda Republic. That's a clear example of a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I hope that actually answered the big question. And yeah, man, please kindly let me know what you think in the comments. Would you like me to add something else in the criteria, or, you know, like type of thing? And yeah, man, thank you so much for always supporting the boy. And yeah, man, we're back. It's hot out here. Like the conditions are just very, very hot. Too many lights and all these other things, but we did it. We made it, and thank you so much. Happy New Year, and I will see you on the next one. Please kindly tap in and yeah, engage with the content, comment, and yeah, subscribe. Shout out. Peace. Post in the diary. Please kindly. And I will see you on the next one. Abona le lona ke le tlisetse le mic ya di-commentator like wa bona. It's like a Peter Drury of the game, wa mpona ke na Alan Smith of the game, ke na Martin Tyler of the game,